From just outside the perimeter of Atlanta, Georgia, where it was 404 day in the A and not a single game went our way.
It's
the truth.
That's
the God's honest
really
truth.
That's really like a sad morning poop.
Welcome, everybody.
Yeah, like your tummy feels kind of sour, and you're like, "This has got to be good," and then you're like,
"Oh,
wow,
this is going to be
really
good and not sour. I promise." It is the 5 Takes podcast, and we are back.
We're back, baby.
Like records being broken in hockey.
Hey,
Jennifer, over to you.
Yeah. So again, I'm sorry, y'all, for the icy
more ice
cold,
references.
Things. Okay, I swear to God, this is the last one for the year because I never talk about hockey because I fucking hate Gary Bettman, and Gary Bettman should have red hot poker shoved up his ass every day, all day long, and twice on Sundays. I hate this person. However, that being said, I do think we need to take a moment to recognize the remarkable achievement and career of Mr. Alex Ovechkin, the Great Eight, who a long time ago in a galaxy far away, I very much enjoyed the rivalry he had with one Ilya Kovalchuk. And it was always so great to watch, Thrashers Caps games because those guys would get out there and it was
chippy.
It was chippy.
Yeah.
And it was the best kind of like one-upmanship, gamesmanship you could watch on the ice. And it really does make you wonder like what the world would have looked like if Bettman didn't have such a hard-on for Arizona. Anyway, kudos to you, Ovi. What an achievement, breaking a record that I think most people in wider hockey circles thought would never in a million years.
Well, it's a lot of damn goals. What is it?
That's a lot of goals.
895.
Yeah. And it's really funny. And I asked my wife, I was like, we were alive in the 80s. You know who Wayne Gretzky is? And she goes, yeah, I know who Wayne Gretzky is. I was like, well, did you know that he had the most goals of all time until yesterday? And she was like, whoa, really? Somebody beat the record? I was like, yep. Because what, Glenn? Records are made to be broken. Even the 1-8 Braves could still win the series.
Hey, the Braves have an opportunity here to do something that has never been done in baseball, and that is make the postseason after starting 1-7, now 1-8. They just need to get the bats going.
This doesn't necessarily mean that the ice talk is over because next week I'm going to pull out some fucking facts about curling, and it's going to be exciting.
Ice cold.
So, I mean, you got to do if you do the math on this, and maybe I did the math wrong, but like hockey is an 82 game season. Ovechkin has been playing in the league for 20 years. He came into the league in 2005. Okay. Right? He was drafted 2004, came into the league 2005. 20th season.
How old is he now? 39? 40? Is he Goose
something
age,
like that.
He's
Yeah. He's basically the same age as Brad Guzan.
Impressive.
So he's played in 1,600 games of hockey. Wow. And he scores a goal every other game that he plays in. If you do the math on that, that is a hell of a. It really, again, remarkable achievement. And it was cool to see. And he did this like giant ice slide that once I tripped and fell and did a similar ice slide. And it was funny. I actually laughed because he did the thing where like he did the penguin slide like on Mario, like, when Mario's wearing the penguin suit. Yeah. And you go like this. And so the only reason I didn't have to go get my chin reconstructed when I fell like that is because I had the foresight to keep my chin up like this and not scrape it against the ice. And,
man, I think you just gotta accept if you're going down that road, the ice sports, you gotta accept your face is just gonna get jacked. It's just gonna happen.
I mean, look at the guy's smile. There's like no teeth in there. It's okay. We love him anyway. So snaps to you.
Congratulations.
For, destroying a record that people never thought would ever tumble. So that's
this one's probably going to stand up for a while too, at least another 20 years. It's going to take a minute for somebody to rack up that many and to stay healthy enough to do it. That's almost as impressive as the goal scorers just playing this damn sport for 20 years, man, and still having something of a face.
For 20 years. Yeah. You know who can't stay healthy? Our freaking club. Here we go. Why is that? Why can't we stay healthy?
I'll tell you why.
Send more of our club members to Mason Mill.
That's exactly why. Because not a single one of them goes to Mason Mill. Not trying to knock the physio staff at Atlanta United, but it is getting a bit frustrating how no matter the staff, no matter the players or the coach, people just be getting hurt all the time. So I think it's worth a try. anybody on the physio staff, any players listening to this, you want to give them a call at 404-321-0082. Or if you don't got time for that, you can go on the web, masonmillchiro.com. They make it very easy to schedule an appointment. Even open on Saturdays. You want to go right before the game, you can do it. They're flexible. They work with your schedule. They're wonderful. You can pick up a sticker while you're there. Oh, all right. You should go. They're great. We joke all the time, but we love them, and not just for their support, but it's nice to find a medical provider that you can trust, that you know is just going to be looking out for you and, not out for their bottom line. They're a business like anything else, but it does feel a bit different. And we all know what that's like when you find a medical provider, any provider out there, and you have a bit of a personal relationship with. It's rare. It's something that should be cherished, and promise you'll have the same experience. You will have the exact same experience. And even if it's not a good fit for you, players out there, whoever you are, that's fine. Like, they're not going to just take you as a client, as a patient, just to crack you and move on. They will be very upfront, like if they think their services can help you, or if you're even somebody that needs chiropractic care because, if you have a certain injury or something, maybe you wouldn't want to. But they'll be open about that.
I mean, heck, if you're out there, if you're out there protesting, if you're out there
holding signs,
I mean, that's hard work too.
Yep.
So
you got to work those back muscles.
Right now, those arms need to be linked. And look, more power to you. Go and take care of yourself. Do the right thing for yourself.
I gotta say, I'm very impressed, Jennifer. I'm very impressed. This is back-to-back weeks with really good segues. Really good segues. Really well done.
Hey, we value our sponsors. They deserve nothing but the best segues. In quality segues.
Simply the best.
They did not deserve that.
I don't know. I think she's actually hitting the notes. She's doing okay.
Yeah, that's way better than me at any karaoke night.
Oh, all right. Shall we move on to the match? You want to jump right into some takes, or do you want to do some general thoughts? I'm up for anything tonight.
What is that I see?
Right.
This is something
well, slid into frame here. So, if you are watching the video version, Kat has oh so subtly slid in her Emmy, and we're gonna make this a thing now. So, if you're watching the video, and you can tell us at what minute of this pod Kat slid in her Emmy.
She slid that Emmy into your DMs.
Slid that Emmy into your DMs.
I did.
Send us an email, message, comment, whatever, and we'll hook you up with a little 5 takes prize. If you are not watching this, should still be able to see at what minute we started talking about this. Let us know, and like I said, we'll send you a little something from 5 takes or Atlantic Night, or maybe some Hawks gear as well. Since I work there, I get a lot of free swag.
We have a lot of swag. You want it. We have some cool swag. Interact with us. We're desperate and lonely people. We're also, I'd like to remind you, the only Atlanta United podcast team that can boast an Emmy Award winner on our staff.
Yes. And I would like to point out the only pod, for better or for worse, that is predominantly women. I'm outnumbered here.
That's right.
Happily so.
That's right. This ain't no penis party.
And the only pod where you're going to hear penis party. I promise you that much. All right. Moving on.
That's true. I was telling one of my coworkers just this morning, and shout out to Nick if he's listening, because I told him to check us out, because it's funny. I said, hey, don't worry. I'm just as crude and ridiculous on the pod as I am in real life. So let's go.
Can confirm.
You know what I thought about last night, Jennifer? How fucking hard you laughed when I was talking about Miami's pink kit. How I said I'd normally love some pink on pink action, and how fucking hard you laughed.
I can't believe you got it back on air. Oh my God, what is wrong with you?
Because I watched the Miami match last night. I watched them fucking draw Toronto, and it was like, both teams had opportunities to win that, especially Toronto in the last 5 minutes.
Pretty wild.
So yeah, they should have pulled it out, but I was like, pink on pink.
It was pandemonium the last 5 minutes.
Wait. I have a question, and maybe some of you stat nerds can answer this. Speaking of yesterday's action,
a what nerd?
Stat nerds.
Stat nerds.
Stat nerd.
Stat nerd.
See, I thought you said Statner, and I'm like, is that like Staten Island? What the fuck reference are you making? I had no idea.
That is definitely not like Staten Island. Last time I checked, there's not really a lot of nerds on Staten Island.
No, a lot of rich
I don't know.
people.
Don't take that, Staten Island nerds. Don't take that disrespect.
But in any case, in case you live under a rock, Josef scored another hat trick,
which makes him the actually he was before the leading all-time hat trick
holder.
Player.
Yeah,
I was just gonna ask, is that
That's
like the
7.
leading hat trick?
The one before was 5, so he already had it at 6. I forget who had 5 hat tricks, but now I think he sits 5th or 6th all-time goal scorers. He's got a ways to go.
Well, and they even mentioned.
I don't think he's gonna catch Wando by any stretch.
No, but they also said too. Can you know when I was watching some of the highlights of his match, it's like, could you imagine what would have happened with him if he hadn't gotten hurt?
I know.
Oh, God.
The ultimate.
I mean, we're talking
another
60, 70 goals probably to his name.
If he's not hurt and things don't go the way they did with this club, or COVID doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I think Wando's record is pretty well smashed, to be honest.
I think it's certainly threatened.
The goals he scored last night, go watch them. It's worthwhile. It did look very much vintage Josef, especially that
blooper
third
over the
goal,
top. Yeah, the one
where he essentially to himself and then just loops it over. It reminds me.
Just dinks it over the top. It's brilliant.
He had a goal against Columbus or Cincinnati. I can't remember which, where he backheeled it to himself.
I remember.
And scored. Yeah. It was reminiscent of that.
It's so artistic and improvisational, you know? It's you just kind of he just lets the game flow through him in those times. It was very vintage, like Venezuelan Viper.
Yeah,
you know, the picking up the trash in front of the net, like very much attacking.
I'm happy for him.
Yeah, it looked great.
I'm so happy for him. Number one, because he's not really doing it against us, and he won't do it against us unless
not often anyway.
Miraculously get to MLS Cup final, which I wouldn't hate at
San
all.
Jose versus Atlanta.
I mean, that would be
for what
fun.
It's worth. I did put on my prediction on the prediction table contest. I put San Jose winning the West, even though Vancouver's still at the top, which is equally crazy to me. That's really nuts. And good for Vancouver.
I mean, I just, I'm here for Josef, the human, getting all the good things to Josef.
I'm happy.
Makes me very
happy he looked happy. He had his kid out there. Kid's adorable. I think San Jose could be the best fit for him since leaving Atlanta. I know he had some great moments in Miami. You got to play with the GOAT. Montreal, not so much. This feels like with Chicho there, like he's thriving. He's got a good coach.
He's getting used as a role player, but not as an also ran.
The right balance.
And I think that's there's a balance there, because in Montreal and Miami, he was a gap filler, and I don't know how much he knew it when he signed there or whatever, but that was kind of crappy, whatever. Yeah. And he goes to Montreal, and they were never really clear with what they were going, how they were going to use him, and all of that stuff. So to see him go to San Jose and really thrive in, an OG club with a great culture and a great history and a fan base that I think, while it's not the biggest one on the planet, they're a really solid group of people that can embrace him and kind of give him his flowers the way it's good to see.
He probably felt a little out of place in some place like Montreal too. You go to some place back like San Jose, very much like Miami and Atlanta, where you have a lot of Spanish speakers, and so I'm sure that he's a few years removed. Like you said, the culture, not just the culture of football, but the culture of there's a lot of Hispanic culture there too, and so there's probably a good bit of it that feels good.
When we were kicking around the idea in theory before the Miggy stuff all became a reality, we were kicking around the idea in theory of like how bad of an idea would it be to bring Josef back to be like a super sub, and the whole thing was he willing and ready to accept a lesser role with a club at this stage in his career and not like have to be the guy.
Right.
I think, whatever Bruce Arena is worming into his ear seems to be, it's not like he's not playing. And, he's not absent from any conversation anyone's having right now about golden boots.
No, he's right up there at 4 goals. He's right up there.
He's keeping some pace with that. So, I think, the maturity gene might have kicked in, and that's also, cool to see. But, being a parent kind of messes with you. So there you are.
Yeah. Like you said, I think it's a good fit for him, and he seems well balanced. We looked for what it's worth. I thought, it's weird for me to say over a draw, I actually thought we looked pretty balanced. I think there's an argument to be made here. I'm jumping all the way down to number 5. Sure, why not?
Okay, so we're gonna go worst to first.
This was our best game. What I've been looking for in this homestand, apart from 9 points, like I desperately wanted 9 points.
Right.
But I think maybe more importantly is that performance. I need an even performance.
Yeah.
Both 45s. Look, we scored. Okay.
Yep.
Miggy, great. We played controlled football pretty consistently. We created chances. None of those just embarrassing giveaway goals that we've just been handing out left and right. The goal Dallas scores a banger, so you stick it in the roof,
It's really the first goal. I feel like that's the first earned goal we've given up this whole season.
Yeah, and honestly, and Stian had a really good block, and then he just weaseled his way out of it. So it wasn't a defensive blunder.
Not really.
Stian was right there.
Brad's initial distribution isn't great, but like I said, there's a lot of work left to do there.
And
they did
you
it.
Can't
they did
say
the work.
that Brad's distribution was what led to it.
It started it.
There's 6 opportunities to get the ball away.
Yeah, that's why I said it just started it. There's a ton of work left to do, and they did the work.
Yeah.
So all that being said, I walked away feeling like I got part of what I needed. I needed 2 more points.
Yeah.
I did. But I think what I'm looking for more is that performance.
I'm going to segue that into number 2, where you talk about connections in the final third are still not fully formed. And too many times we're seeing an attacker exasperated when not getting the ball, or an attacker calling for the ball when it's not.
Yeah, you're as close as I am, Jennifer, to the pitch. How many times did you see a frustrated Saba, or insert player's name here? Just I need the ball.
Lennon, Saba, Latte.
That's not the run.
Basically. And it's just it's annoying because I do think that we just given Latte set up 3 really gorgeous crosses to a basically empty net where there was nobody there to pick it up.
Or just a rebound and nobody's crashing the box and
I know we're gonna talk about
Jande doesn't know how to do that. Jande does not know how to crash. He doesn't know how to crash the box.
Because he's too involved in the goal creation so far.
It's just not. It's not his role. And this is something that I said to Jennifer. Listen, we don't have a left winger. We don't have one. We do not have anybody right now that consistently do what Saba does on the right, or what Lennon does on the right. No, he's been. That's the statement of the century. He's been okay.
Okay. All right.
Brooks and Saba are fantastic over there. We need 2 people on the other side. We miss Pedro so badly.
Oh,
badly. But we don't have a left winger. Pedro's a left back. So he's fantastic, but he's not there.
I'm gonna disagree with you, and I'm going to come in here. I'm going to come in here with a little Henry Higuita Jr. Wisdom from the discussion that we had going on in the Atlanta United FanTV Discord today. Which, by the way, if you're not a member of, join it. It's free. There's some quality discussion going on in there, and nobody's really a dick, which is so refreshing from the Facebook group and the Reddit and whatever.
The Moss
so it's just if you want to talk to Atlanta, yeah, exactly. So bottom line is, I think what we have seen, minus some tweaks in the back 4, which is where I think our problems are. I don't know that our problems are with the offense in the formation style that we played for the second half of the last match and for all of this match. And that involved Miyumba or Alexi in that 8 front part of the double pivot and Jande on the left. I think you've had Jande on the left one time out of necessity, and this time finally out of choice. And I feel like Jande was rocking and rolling. He was solid defensively, and he was opening up space and channels for, let's be real, the more talented Miggy, the more talented Saba, the more talented Latte Lot to get in there and get more aggressive. The reason I think we didn't convert a lot of the chances that we had is Muyumba didn't have the awareness to take shots when he needed to. And I know he played a hell of a match, and I hate ragging on him.
He did play a hell of a match. We'll get to him. He did, but
we're going to get there. But it's the piece of his game I need him to step up to if he's going to slide into that role.
Yeah, but I think he's been told not to do it. I honestly...
I don't know. Like, I don't understand. But it wasn't just Tristan. It was everybody else from the top of the box. They all want to shoot the ball out to the wing, and nobody wants to just throw the puck at the net.
I don't know if they've been told not... I mean, everything that Ronnie has been saying as post-matchers has boiled down to trust yourselves more. I wish they would believe in themselves a little bit more.
If they believed in themselves, they would be taking those damn shots.
So,
well, we know Alexi will take them, and that's good.
He will.
I'm fine with him taking them. We know Tristan can take them too, but I don't.
He's taken a fair few. Not in this last match.
What I'm saying is, I think that whatever he did in the offseason to find his confidence, so that Tristan is not turnover Tristan anymore. Whatever confidence he found is great. And for me right now, Tristan not shooting, as long as he continues to maintain the confidence that keeps him solid in the midfield, I'm kind of okay with it.
Yeah.
Other people, I think you're right. I think even Bartosz can take some shots.
I think, you know,
Tristan, I'm okay if he wants to hold back. I'm okay with it.
I think if they go out with this, if Ronnie rolls this formation again, whether he does a midfield pair, he could, whether he does a midfield pair of Alexi in the 8 and Tristan in the 6, or whether he does a midfield pair of Tristan hybrid, Alexi, you get two different looks that way if you need to mix it up, and Bartosz in the 6. However he rolls it out, I don't think you mess with pulling Miggy from the central midfield, Jande on the left, and Saba on the right.
No, I think it has to be that way. You're right. I just don't think Jande is as high in quality and caliber as Brooks and Saba on the right. I don't think you
need him to be, because if we actually start throwing balls into the box, you're going to have a lot of garbage to pick up, and Latte is going to pick it up,
100%.
and Jande is going to pick it up, and I feel like that's the piece that's missing is we have to just start throwing the balls into the box and seeing what happens.
And I really think that the piece is missing too is Pedro Amador. Once we get him back,
because you're not getting. And look, Matt Edwards was my low-key man of the match. Y'all can say what you want about Matt Edwards. He was my low-key man of the match because I really feel like he stepped up he was really solid defensively. He made a couple of really key clearances. And he's not a regular lefty. So you're asking him to play a job. He hasn't, in a position that he's
been great.
That's a little bit, out of his comfort zone. He is no longer scaring me half to death every time he gets the ball at his feet. And he's actually going out there and opening up chances.
Yeah, for sure.
And,
I mean, his progression has been really impressive. I think he's a kid.
Yeah.
He's only,
we're 7 matches in.
That,
and I think I was really doubting him on the first or second match.
The
second match, and I was like, I'm like, oh, he's out there. Good, fine, sure. Yeah,
he's earning the spot.
Far less. I remember when George Bello and Caleb Wiley played their first matches. I was really concerned about it. I was like, oh my God.
Every year or 2 years, there's some kid that
we get a break.
Wins
we get
a
one
job.
Breakout kid. Yeah.
Every time.
Every time. And just to counterpoint that, who I have a little bit of growing concern for is Derek Williams.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay.
I feel like
consistency is
it's just not where it was last year. I feel like the decision making, and it's not skill set. It's decision making.
Like he's got the yips or something.
Exactly. Like that's a great way of describing it because I don't really know of another like word to use.
Gun shy, you just get the yips, and it's
like why are you literally instead of passing with confidence or putting the ball into space where people are going to be, like why are you taking that extra half second to second guess yourself? And that's when you wind up creating a giveaway, and that's when you wind up turning the ball over in dangerous areas because he's always going to have the ball in the dangerous areas. That's his job to clean it up.
Yeah, you really have to have that super. You have to have that super confident center back, and he's kind of
Tristan is showing that confidence
wavery
though.
right now.
In midfield, like the turnovers have stopped; they've gone the other way. He had 2 recoveries, I think, 1 interception, 2 tackles.
7 of 9 on duels, which is a huge like that was the thing that stuck out to me.
It's confidence level. He's just out there overpowering the ball. He's just beasting himself on the ball, and he's not making silly mistakes. I saw him sticking legs out and like practically pulling a groin in right there in mid pitch just to make sure that ball didn't go somewhere he didn't want it to go.
Speaking of sticking legs out, like listen, I'm actually
this was going to be my take.
I'm actually not mad at Dallas for playing as physical as they did.
No, me neither. No one told them to stop.
If the ref would let us kick people, we would do it. Frequently, they don't.
It took till the 78th minute to get a yellow card, and they gave it to Latte Lath. After everything that had happened.
I don't like talking about refs because we always come back with that's not the reason we lost. Maybe not, but there's... Who knows how this game could have gone? Like he had an outsized impact on this.
That call in stoppage on whoever the hell went down for like if you watch the replay, he tripped on his own feet. There was no contact. You could have made a very solid argument the other way that it was dog-so, the way that he went down. And that was the match. Like, which again, we should not have been in that position. There were other chances that he could have converted. Oh, it's just frustrating. It's just
referees should not influence the game. And when literally, I was like, he could have pulled out a yellow card 13 minutes into the game.
Matt, he left
and probably should have. And I was like, I cannot believe. Like he just left them. I literally saw him yank somebody back by the shirt. One of our guys, one of our players.
I watched
the player by the Dallas player by the jersey, and he didn't give a yellow. I'm like, that's the easiest one to give. That's impediment. That's the easiest one. And that was 43 minutes into the game or something. I'm like, we deserve a yellow there. Yeah. Like, what the fuck is going on?
I don't like it. I don't enjoy. I don't want to talk about the match. I want to talk about the players and what we saw. Like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
But when here's how I knew for me that it was like more, that it was extra, that he was making it about him. I went with a buddy of mine. Lily was down in Florida hanging out with family. So I brought my buddy Jonathan with me, and he's not much of a sports guy. This was his first professional soccer match. Kind of cool. I love.
It's a fun.
And I'm glad he got to see.
Probably a fun one for him to see.
And I'm glad he got to see what I thought was a pretty good game, a pretty good product. Like I have an unfortunate history of bringing new fans to the game and we lose, and it's like that's not it.
Okay, so Glenn, what did that tell you about bringing people to matches?
I know, but he got to see something pretty good. But
that's right.
At about minute, 55 or so, and this is coming from somebody who just doesn't know the sport,
doesn't know anything about it.
He turns to me, he's like, "Oh man, is the ref supposed to be like that involved?" And just this seems. I mean, I don't know.
That's
it's weird
how
to me.
You fucking know.
That's how you know. I'm just like, man, if this guy's saying it, who's just not a sports dude, is just there for a good time, and if he's catching this, then something's up here, and we don't have to drone on about it. But
84th minute. 84th minute, he hands out that yellow to Latte.
I just want
84th.
I want better than
I don't remember when it was in the match, but the thing that got me was like, I think it was almost 3 straight scissor kicks, attempted tackles on us. And it looked like freaking dominoes or like cards flipping down. I'm like, and nothing, and
it's persistent
nothing.
Infringement. What a ref needs to hand a card out. Even if the foul that he hands a card for, maybe that foul isn't as blatant as a yellow, but someone's got to take it.
16 fouls. Dallas committed 16 fouls.
And those were just the ones that were called.
Right. That's just the ones that were called. And we had 12. There's easily a yellow or 2 to Dallas that should have come from 16 fouls
all day,
and maybe another one even from us from 12
all day and twice on Sundays. Jennifer says.
I mean, fucking hell, 84th.
The one I really don't understand is how they didn't get a yellow for time wasting on their goalie.
Gosh,
me neither.
By the way, I don't know if it's actually.
I can hear all you guys counting, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Speaking of time wasting on goalies, there's a little bit of a rumor flowing around that there was a certain chant that went up at a couple of different points in the supporter section.
We're not fucking be.
If you did that, if you're listening and you did that,
shame
seriously,
on you.
get off my fucking lawn.
Shame.
It's
also,
not
guys,
okay.
don't and this
get off my podcast. If any of you ever chant that shit, you're not welcome here.
Also, don't, and it didn't happen this match, but it did happen at a previous match because my buddy is the escort for the refs that takes them on and off the pitch.
Oh yeah, we knew all about that.
Don't throw beers at them. Look, we're all frustrated.
You want to throw a finger? You can do that.
Sure, fly the bird, fly it high.
Oh, I know that there was some lovely profanity, expletive, whatever, but we did much better this match in not throwing actual things at the ref and at MLS officials who were at the match and whatever else. So very good job, supporter section, for not throwing actual things on the pitch. Less of a good job about keeping disgusting, horrible, homophobic chants out of your mouths. Keep it out of your mouth.
Don't do that.
People.
Look, I get it. I get being frustrated, but we can't do that. One person I was actually happy to see frustrated was Lucho, and he kept getting in the referee's ear all the time and just was able to just...
Oh, and he was having none of it. That was the only good thing that ref did.
I suppose so. But it was nice to see him frustrated, and I think that says a ton, actually, just about the defensive performance.
It definitely does. Mostly in the first half, he was non-existent. He was not a threat at all.
Yeah, being in the crowd, I'm telling you, some of the loudest cheers and get out of your seat moments were from defensive actions, including that bicycle clearance from Jande.
Oh, that was amazing, though.
Got on his bike in his own final third. Bless you.
It's funny too. I saw another one of those exact same things in the Toronto match or the Miami match last night by a Toronto player. I was like, hey, do what you got to do, but.
That's
Seems excessive.
No. Copying is the highest form of flattery. So go ahead, Toronto.
Yeah. But I got to say, too, I think Latte in the first half was a little bit frustrated, too. I think he was having trouble kind of finding the same space that he's used to having. So I think it was a very, and he won the penalty, he did exactly what he's supposed to do. But I do think that it was a very, as frustrated as it was a very, very even match. And I agree with what the commentators were saying, that the way that it ended was probably deserved on both sides.
I guess so. I mean,
this didn't feel like a draw that felt like a loss. It didn't feel like a draw that felt like a win. It felt like a very hard fought, well executed,
a draw.
I
was
guess.
Just happier
it was a
with,
draw. Yeah.
I needed to see us play football for 90 minutes. That's what I needed. I need the win now.
First half.
That
was definitely the best first half I've seen all season.
I don't know. I think it was our best 90 for me, from my perspective.
No. I'm not disagreeing that the second half. I'm not saying the second half was bad. I'm saying that's the best first half we've had.
Okay.
I still feel like, and I'm not saying that it's
not done.
I would give this as a consistent 90-minute effort. I would say, okay, cool. There were no bonehead there was no mental checkouts, but I don't feel like they had their foot on the gas for 90 minutes yet.
Okay.
Well, yeah, so maybe they're not at 70. They were more like 40.
You got through the first half and you were in good shape, and then you came out with a little bit of energy that kind of ebbed as the match went on, and it really took Dallas scoring that goal to wake them back up offensively
Okay.
and actually say, oh, hey, you know what? We're not safe. We need to go out in there and actually chase this game, which is what they were doing. So I'm still kind of waiting to see a full 90-90.
And it sucks to have to be able to say, hey, we played football for 90 minutes pretty consistently, and we didn't make any stupid mistakes. That's not the bar. That is not the bar, but I'm trying to be a little more optimistic and seeing like, okay, we took another little baby step. All right. I need to see what you're talking about now on this weekend coming up with New England. Foot on the gas, bury them early. Don't leave it to chance. Give me my cheap burritos. This is what I need.
I want 2 goals by like the 35th minute.
Sure, that seems entirely reasonable. I thought you were going to go something I need 2 goals in 5 minutes or I'm walking out.
No, I want 1 by latte, okay. And let's give it another one to Miggy in the first 35.
I need Saba. I need Saba to get off the
needs
nine.
A goal.
And I really feel like I want to see Tristan or Jande get rewarded for their hard work.
That would be really nice.
Well, Tristan had that in.
I want to see Tristan grow an offensive pair and throw it at the net
and get a reward for it.
And you know what I am going to say? Actually, there were 2 that I can think of really good, well executed from way outside of the box, potential long shots, and they were both from Jande. So he is the one taking the shots, and we know he can score from back there. So let's let him.
Yeah, it'd be great for him because I think right now if he keeps playing the way he is, he's vying for comeback player of the year. And I was surprised he started and played as well as he did coming back from injury and no drop off pre-injury. Yeah. This looks like the Tristan that first came here that we're all very excited about. That even commentators, Felipe Cardenas had said, okay, this is the Nagbe replacement that they have been searching for.
Oh, you mean Felipe didn't want to shit on us last,
60 passes.
His favorite thing to do.
60 completed passes by Tristan. 60.
His stats this match were
92%.
Yes.
92% passing is ridiculous.
60 completed passes compared to no one else even comes close to that. So Abram does. So you're talking Abram passing it up to Tristan and Tristan being the through guy. He's the one creating chances. He's the one creating anything going forward. That's what that says to me. So good on him.
Tristan,
let's keep fucking going, dude. I like what I see.
In the immortal words of Wayne and Garth, we salute you. Sha Wing.
Party on.
All right. Anything else?
No.
About the match?
How about let's just keep going.
All right.
I don't want to come back from 3 goals down and score 4. As fun as that was, I'd rather us be the ones that are 3-1 up and hold on to that lead.
Yeah, we need to see it. We need to see it this weekend.
Holding on to a 1-1, holding on to that and not letting Lucho or anybody else get the better of us and being able to finish helps too, because that means we scored early and then we held on, and like it could have been worse, fuck.
We need the 3 points this weekend. We need a solid full 90 goals, all of it this weekend, because unfortunately we drop more points at home, which means we're going to have to start getting it done on the road, and we need to go on the road with real momentum. We can still pull this off. We can still be a top 4 team, but we've made it more difficult for ourselves, and we're going to have something akin to 2018 performance on the road. We are just going to have to go and get full points on the road because there's not enough home matches left for us now to just hold serve at home, scrape by a little bit on the road, and be top 4. That option is gone. It just is, because we've dropped too many at home now. Even if we just win out, you're going to have to get some stuff on the road.
The good news is we're 3 points out of 3rd place.
I hear you. It's early, but I'm still saying that we have to get it done on the road.
And look, a competitive squad that wants to play for tangible things, it shouldn't matter home or away. I'm not saying we don't need to win our matches at home, but going on the road shouldn't be the adversity that it was up until the middle of last year.
It shouldn't be, but it historically has been, which is why I think it's going to be still pretty difficult to do. But maybe we'll be pleasantly surprised. I don't know. We haven't been yet.
I think we're just, it's taking longer than we would have liked.
Much longer.
It's taking longer than most people expected, but I think we are finally starting to see the things come together. It's just taking longer for people to buy into what Dyla is selling.
And it's taking longer than Philadelphia, Glenn. I get it. But we got to stop comparing what we're doing to what they're doing, okay?
I also don't know if Philadelphia has the talent to sustain this over 30.
We don't know.
Matches. I don't know.
There's no way to know that. Hopefully we have better talent than to sustain the shit we've been doing. So let's go.
I think
and
San
it's 4
Diego,
points, Jennifer, by the way.
San Diego's
if
been
we had won, it's 4 points. So if we had won, we'd be at 11 right now. We'd be tied for 6th. And, it's...
I got you. I got you.
We are not panic button.
No. I just want us to be further along, and I can't help but compare it to other teams that maybe are. San Diego's been extremely impressive, and they're brand new.
It's just
you're
comparing apples to pencils.
Not really.
It's not the same.
I'm comparing. What I'm comparing here is newness, and newness has been the reason why we're not gelling yet. And I'm saying there's other newness out there, other teams experiencing what we're experiencing and doing a better job of coming together
with a completely different set of players and a different coach and a different city. And so it's not the same.
But every team has a coach. Every team has players. Why are their players?
You're generalizing too much.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
Other teams have players.
I think you are.
No, not. Other teams have players and coaches, correct?
You can say if you think you're not. That's general of a. That's too general.
No. How's it general when other teams have players and coaches, correct?
Okay. Do they also wear shorts and have shirts?
Yes.
Do they have hair?
Yes.
Are they sometimes tall?
And
does that have anything to do with them? They're winning?
No. What I'm saying is that these teams, the reasons we give for not being where we want to be, other teams have those same reasons. Other teams have done a better job of overcoming those reasons.
So, which is why we need to stop using those reasons. I hear you on that.
Those other teams.
Well, I haven't heard the other reasons. We on this pod.
I'm going to ask you.
We on this pod haven't given any other reason for why this team is not where we would like them to be, apart from they need some more time. We haven't. I haven't. Nobody has.
I guess I just don't understand what you're saying when we give 5 takes every single match. If it's a loss or if it's a draw or if it's a win, we give 5 takes as the reason why they performed, the reason why they did. We don't mention them being new.
But but we talk about it. The primary reason we give for why it hasn't come together is they just need more time.
Well, it's speculation. That's the other thing. It's only 7 games in, so that's the only thing we have to go on because it's been a short amount of time.
Correct. And I'm saying
if it was the last game of the season, we'd be like, oh well, it's not new. It's
correct.
New.
But I'm saying
we wouldn't be doing that.
For whatever other reasons, other teams haven't needed that time, and I think that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. I think it's interesting, but you're also I think that the thing, if you wanted to ask for like what the missing like why does it work for these clubs and why isn't it working for us? I think it's the larger marketplace microscope.
Sure.
I think there's a hell of a lot more pressure to walk into a club like Atlanta United than there is to walk into a club like San Jose or Philly, where no one outside of San Jose or Philly actually gives a flying fuck what is going on in San Jose or Philly.
I hear you on that. Maybe not pressure, because I think players create their own pressure. Everybody wants to win.
Okay, but look at I'm going to give you a really big example of a club in the Prem that has this same problem, and it's Man United. it's Tottenham Hotspur. Those two clubs, what the hell is going on with them? Look at what their talent is. Look at who their coaches are. Tottenham's had ungodly amounts of injuries. Outside of that, even with those ungodly amounts of injuries, they've got 2 MLS level starting 11s. They've got at least a prim and a half starting 11, right, of high quality players. What the hell is going on there? Why can't they win games against fucking Brentford?
Guess they just need more time.
And Everton.
But here's the thing, Glenn.
Everton.
Here's the thing. When you're sitting there,
when you get there, when you're in the pressure cooker club, it's a little bit different than, when you're going out to some club that nobody's paying attention to, and they don't, unless you start really setting the world on fire, you ain't gonna get a lick of press.
Well, and let me just say one other thing, Glenn. You're sitting there with that cheeky ass smile on your face. The fact that we're saying all this about needing more time and whatnot, and you're comparing it to other clubs who apparently have not needed time, that doesn't mean that we're wrong. You do know that, right? That just because these other two clubs, no, that's what I'm saying. The other two clubs that are in similar situations to us because they're doing well, it doesn't make the fact that we're not doing well and our reasoning being that we need more time, that doesn't mean that our reasoning is wrong just because those other two clubs aren't following.
No, I'm not saying it's wrong.
It could be correct that the reason why is because we need more time.
Yes. I'm not saying it's wrong.
So comparing us to them, so that's what I'm saying. Comparing us to them it's
no, I'm not saying it's wrong.
It doesn't. You just.
I'm saying it's disappointing that for some reason
we
have an ungodly amount of talent, and for some reason we need more time.
Then that's
frustrating. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying there's anything else. I'm saying that it sucks for us to have that be the reason when teams, at least on paper, and I know it's not played on paper, experience similar things and don't need that.
Oh, good for them.
It's frustrating, It's frustrating.
I know. I think I'm just able to compartmentalize away what they're doing into what we're doing. I'm just able to separate the two.
I need another home win. I need to get to go back out of the bends to the tailgate and throw some beer on people and be all happy and then come here and sit here with you.
I got half of what I needed. I really, truly did. I got a point, okay. But I saw us play football pretty even-keeled over 90 minutes. Great. Now go do it with New England. Get you a few more goals. Clean sheet would be great. That'd be wonderful. Haven't put up enough of those. Children's Healthcare of Atlanta needs their money. Let's go.
I mean, we all know what's happened to funding for healthcare and science-related things.
We gotta be part of the solution, not part of the problem. Let's go.
Yep.
All right, y'all.
Let's go.
All right, cool. Healthy debate. I appreciate it.
Totally. So, moving on to other things, we've got the Decatur FC pod coming up.
Yep, on April 21st. Part
April 21st.
With Gareth O'Sullivan, owner, and Joel Gold, GM. Both of them, or maybe just one of them, not sure. But we would love to have you submit some questions for them. We've got our own that we're going to ask. But if you've got a few that you want to ask that are about the club or the league. If
you've ever wanted to know what it takes to actually start up your own professional football club. These are the people to ask. Like, how do you get involved from a financial aspect in, I don't know, owning a football club? These are the people to ask.
If you've
it's
ever
kind of like apparently buying a hotel, you can apparently pick up the phone and call somebody and say, "Hey, I want to buy your hotel." Right? I don't know. Is that how it works? I have no idea.
That should be a question you ask them, and you should submit those.
If you've ever wondered what a coach of a new football team's favorite milkshake flavor is, you have to be able to ask those questions. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't.
Or, I mean, if you need dating advice, I mean, who better to get it from than somebody who's going to put together a midfield pair?
Don't listen to either of these women. Just ask good football-related questions. Just ask good football-related questions.
Mint chocolate chip, by the way.
No, I am staunchly against mint.
No one asked you.
What is wrong with you? What do you have against mint?
Look what I'm eating right here. This is not a sponsorship. Ooh, look what I'm literally eating right now.
I love you and Andy. She's got an Andy's candy wrapper.
Look, I got a whole fucking I got a whole tray.
Mint is for breath mints and toothpaste.
Oh my God! I can't even be your friend anymore.
Next, you're going to tell me
mocha season all year long.
Hold on, one more question, and this could just ruin the whole pod.
Yes, pineapple does go on pizza. Go fuck yourself.
100% pineapple on pizza.
This ain't no penis party. It's a pineapple pizza party.
No disco.
All right, alliteration aside, Glenn, stop burying your face. Okay, you're outnumbered.
It has no.
In more ways than one.
Golly, an abomination.
Yes, it does.
Right. Anyhow, yes, please submit questions. Please submit questions. We'll do that on the 21st. We'll release it on the 22nd. And then part 2 will be on May 19th. And that will be with Coach Chapman and a few players. So think of some questions.
And some other special guests.
Oh, yes. And we're going to have some kids to come on and ask some questions. But submit some questions for Coach Chapman and players as well. Anything you want to relate to that doesn't involve pineapple and mint and all this other nonsense. All right, y'all. Thank you very much for listening.
We already know the answers to those questions. And the answer to those questions is that pineapple does, in fact, go on pizza.
I'll be asking the food-related questions, I think. You guys can ask the serious ones, and I'll just chime in every now and then with, like, what's your favorite cookie?
Speaking of food, we cannot hang up before I drop this little shout out. And if you've listened this long, I appreciate it. I need to give a shout out from assorted supporter groups and also the FanTV Discord, because we had a lovely conversation before he went to Kenya for not so fantastic reasons, but still we had a lovely conversation about coffee versus
Who went to
tea.
Kenya? Sorry?
Anuj. Yeah, he went to Kenya. So he went to Kenya and we had this whole conversation because I was very jealous because they grow fantastic coffee in Kenya and fantastic coffee in Tanzania that I had been privileged to drink from. But he said, oh, no, we don't do coffee. We do tea. And I was like, ew, suck at your tea thing. Anyway, he brings me back a bag of fantastic locally grown Kenyan chai tea that I finally brewed myself a cup of.
Sounds great.
After he very kindly brought it to me from a match. Let me tell you how life-changingly good this chai tea was.
That sounds great.
It's lovely. I will gladly share some with you because he gave me a big bag that I'll never go through.
I actually love tea, and I don't like sweet tea. I am not a Southerner. It's really, really, I'm not. I like hot tea.
Yeah, it's savory and tea flavored with a really lovely, like spicy finish. Anyway, thank you very much. I have very much enjoyed my tea and will continue to enjoy my tea and spread the tea love. We appreciate
spreading the tea love.
Oh, that's great. I mean, get it while you can. That shit's going to be contraband soon.
Yeah, it's very expensive. Shit.
All right, y'all. Appreciate you listening. Thank you very much for the support for us, for FanTV.
We all eat penguin burgers. From McDonald and Herd Island.
If you haven't, speaking of McDonald and Herd Island, if you haven't yet,
Jennifer is genuinely unnerved by that.
If you haven't yet, go over to Olive and York's website or any of their social channels. You betcha they've got a McDonald and Herd kit on the way. You betcha.
Really?
Oh, yes, they do.
Oh, fantastic.
They are so on top of it.
Stop.
Any cultural, any moment in the news, they're all over it. So shouts to Olive and York for being on top of that. Might cop one. Might just cop one. They haven't released the design yet. They put a little teaser out. So it's coming.
Be a penguin.
Get yours.
It's got to be a penguin.
Get yours.
Oh God! If I need it, if there's a penguin kit, I'm in so much trouble. I can't afford the kit. Like that's not even playing fair,
dude.
Penguin legit is one of my favorite animals. I mean, look, it's a bird with feathers that can't fly. It's great.
It just swims.
It's great. Only. God got drunk and just said, "Let's see what happens here."
Yeah.
Okay, so I have to. Okay, I'm sorry. Before we go one more time, I totally have to shout our friends up in Nashville who were very much looking forward to coming down here early next month. So our friends in Nashville, apparently, because I went onto the Olive and York site on my phone, they just dropped. If you're not looking at this, I'm going to try and get it to show up. Like it's hold on.
I see.
Oh,
it's like Austin, but in Nashville colors, and my eyes are bleeding.
Southern
also,
Grist.
It's their kit sponsors the Southern Grist Brewery, but like those very jarring razzle dazzle like that's a lot to look at right there.
That's a lot of geometric like breakup pattern it's kind of like a magic eye. Like I feel like I'm supposed to.
I was going to say, did y'all see the sailboat? Because I haven't seen the sailboat yet.
Is there a penguin in there?
That's what it is. A yellow penguin.
All right.
Fucking hell.
We gotta let people get back. We gotta let people get back to the day. People got penguin jerseys to order. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate everyone. Thank you so much for listening and watching week to week. It means a lot. And for supporting Mason Mill as well. So we will be back in a week's time. We'll try and get this pod out on Monday. Apologies, when Anderson Cooper calls, Kat's got to pick up the phone and you got to go. I mean, if she ever wants to have an Emmy on the left and right side of her, girls got to go to work. Girls got to go to work. They don't just ship these out. You got to put in the work to get those. So we'll try and get it out the day after, like we normally do for New England coming up this week. All right,
let's go.
So we'll be back in a week's time. Till then, y'all be good. We will be back. Delayed, quiet meow, very subtle meow. Sure.
Sometimes that's all you got.
Sometimes that is all you got.
Sometimes that's all you need.
I can't give you a whole meow. Okay, they're tariffing my meows now.